Hey cousins, today was the second best day sourcing I've had all year. Stick around, we got lots of really awesome items to show you today.
A 1 and a 2 and Rusty the reseller, he'll sell you the shirt off his back. Well, I have done it.
How do you do, cousins? Well, I just got finished spending the night out here. I'm second in line for this estate sale. I'm gonna get some goodies today. Well, let me show you what I spent roughly 9 hours, 9 to 10.5 hours out here last night in order to get first crack at. Shoo, folks, it's Rusty here. I'll tell you what. It's 8 a.m. I just got my number. I am number 2. And that's the highest I've been. I've never been number 1, number 2. Folks, I got here at 9:45 last night, and now it is 8 a.m. the next day. That's right. I brought out a little sleeping pad, a little blanket, a pillow. I brought a little container to hold some coffee for this morning and something to drink last night, a snack or two, and a little bag chair. And I've been out here sleeping. I just got in the vehicle. I just got my number. And I'm hungry, folks. It's morning. And so if you've ever watched this before, if you ever watched our estate sale videos, you know what I'm about to say. It is time for a Rusty special. I'm going to head on over to the bagel place. I'm going to get an Asiago cheese bagel, cheddar cheese, bacon, and 2 eggs. And that's the key, the 2 eggs. You need that protein to give you the energy to get in there and get those deals. There are a variety of pieces of jewelry I'm out to get today. Several rings, gold rings, pocket watches, some spectacles, and a variety of other things elsewhere in there that I'm going to try to grab. I'm going to spend a pretty penny today, but I think it's going to be well worth it. Once I get stuff and get it back to the warehouse and pull it out, I'm going to show you each one, talk about what I spent. I try to be transparent. I talk about what I spend all the time and what I sell it for. And we're going to go over that, and maybe this will help you out. Stay tuned, folks. I'm going to go put a bagel in my mouth now. Would you just look at this puppy in all of its glory? Oh my goodness. I cannot wait. Folks, as you can see, the grand total of expenses today was $963. That is a lot, but look at all this stuff I got, folks. Let's see if it's worth it. One of the nicest things I came across today and purchased was this vintage Olympia Express espresso machine. I'm going to start off by telling you that I paid $300 for this. And you're going to say to yourself, Rusty, what are you doing spending that kind of money on something that makes a hot, delicious beverage? Well, that's a great question, but I'll tell you what, before I get to why I bought it, I'll tell you that the cool thing about this is that it came with a bunch of paperwork here. This was originally purchased by someone named Roman, it says, a long time ago, the Cremina. It's Swiss made. Folks, this is like a high-end, espresso machine. I've got all the documentation and paperwork from the purchase all the way through to a receipt for a bunch of repair work that was done on this, totaling over $500 to have all of this refurbishment done. I've got the original components and things with it. To my knowledge, it works. I even have a letter here from someone basically saying like, hey, thanks for refurbishing this. Can I get a price quote on blah, 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 else? And here it is, espresso repair. Folks, I paid $300 for this. The last one that sold on eBay sold for nearly $1,800. That's right, $1,800. All right, the first thing I'm pulling out here is a deal here that shows it's like a holder of a bunch of pipes. And you can see the price, $20 there. Folks, you're gonna get to see me open this for the first time. I just grabbed this. When I saw $20, a bunch of pipes in the stand, I thought, it's worth it. It's worth a shot. Pipes are in a genre that actually sell really well. Their sell-through rate is really high. That means the proportion of things that sell to the proportion of things that are for sale is quite high. It's like a high percentage. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull this whole thing off and let's take a look. All right, as I'm unwrapping this whole thing here, getting it off, there's pipes falling out every which way. Let's just take a look. All right, what do we got here? We got this. I'm gonna screw it back on. Okay, this is kind of like a bulldog shaped bowl here. Let's see if there's a brand name or something here. What do we got? It says Sterling Ball, handmade, Sterling Ball. I'm wondering if this piece of metal here is made out of sterling silver. I imagine it would polish up quite nice. Sterling Ball, I don't know the brand, but I'll look it up. Okay, on to the next one. We got this traditional kind of corn cob pipe. And I don't know if this is like legitimate corn. Like maybe it's wood, it's made to look like corn. I'm not exactly sure, but it does feel like corn, like a legitimate corn cob vintage pipe. Definitely a used pipe. That's cool. I'm gonna look that puppy up. This one looks nice just from the look of it. The grain is very beautiful. What do we have here? What is that? 1886, is that what it says? Irino Rossi, something like that. Rossi, does that sound familiar? Yeah, Rossi, there you go. It's on the plastic. Just look at that, Rusty. This is beautiful. The wood grain on this is quite nice. What else we got over here? The Conte 242, Italy. It's an Italian pipe. That's quite nice looking. I'm gonna have to screw this this stem back on. But look at that stem. This is kind of like a lucite, almost like a dark amber root beer-ish type color. That's beautiful. That's nicer than those two, I believe. At least in looks, it's nicer. What do we got here? You can see these have all been kind of heavily used and chewed on. Sometimes people collect these and they'll leave them as is. Other times they want to smoke them, so they'll just buy a replacement stem that fits in there and they'll use it. This is what they call a straight pipe for obvious reasons. It's straight. Now let's see. Do we have any sort of name on here? What do we have? Something antique. Bella Danica, hand cut. Grekner 606. I don't know. That's pretty cool looking though. I like it. Liking this so far. It's worth $20 already, folks. This Rossi one, I've not even looked it up, and it's good enough condition. I could sell that thing for $20 all day long, I believe. Okay, let's get this last. All right, the stem fell out. I was trying to fiddle with it. Another heavily used stem, chewed on and such. I'm gonna wash my hands after this. Another really beautiful kind of dark burnt color look there. It says Rome, Lorenzo, and it's got a serial number there. I love the serial number stuff, guys. That's great. That helps me to be able to research that and try to find, you know, who it is. Here's another one. This is similar to the very first one I got. It has this tarnish. It's probably sterling silver. That tarnish is very much like sterling silver. And it says something. Can't quite tell. But that's a beautiful, look at that grain on that, folks. Look at the beautiful grain. This is a straight, again, straight pipe. Something standard. Man, beautiful. I am very happy so far. Guys, this one right here is just, that's just incredible. It makes me think of some of the Danish ones that I've seen in the past. But anyhow, and then you got the stand to go with it. So I could either sell these all together in a group and make good money, or I could sell them individually. This is the Decatur Industries, Inc. Genuine walnut. Great. So it's a genuine, like a solid wood stand. And still in pretty darn good condition. All right, number 2, same price, I believe. Let's see, is it $20? $20. So far, folks, this represents $40 of my expenditures today. We've got another nice wooden, again, feels like solid wood. Guys, and I did not even scope these out. I did not even see these yesterday when I was viewing stuff. I just happened to catch this on my way out, believe it or not. And really happy that I did see it. That's why keep your eyes peeled. Another nice briar, solid wood here. What do we got? I got a number on the bottom. Made in Denmark. Excellent. This looks like an S, which stands for Stanwell. Stanwell Danish Star. I've definitely heard of Stanwell, and that's a really unique kind of bowl shape. You can see that it kind of comes up, and it's not like it comes all the way up, a full bend. This is almost like a partial. Beautiful. The stem definitely heavily worn and used, but you know, that doesn't turn off everyone. Here's another nice looking thing. What do we got here? This is one called the Drip Pipe, made in France, and you got a nice little symbols on that. I don't know what that symbolizes. I do not believe that that's silver or anything, any precious metal, but you can see some wear down in here. These can definitely, I will definitely want to clean, all right, some of these a little bit, but there are people who collect vintage pipes and they don't want them completely redone or whatever. That still has a really pretty grain. You know, I've not found a single Dr. Grabo or any of those really cheap ones yet. You know, that there's just a dime a dozen, and so that's really a good. I mean, this person clearly enjoyed smoking a good pipe from time to time, and they have some decent ones here. So I'm going to try to keep going through this. What do we got here? It's very similar bowl styles. Another kind of bulldog with this squared off shank here. This is something Kimberly. It says you got some cracks there. That might just be imperfections in the briar. That might have been as a result of heat over time. Not exactly sure. I don't see anything on the stem. So again, kind of do some, I'll just do some very superficial clean on the outside of this, get some of that scuff off, but I'm not going to mess with the char or anything inside the bowl, because that kind of is what shows really that it had life. And I will also not replace these stems. I will sell them as is. But I'll just put, you know, it's relatively inexpensive to buy a replacement stem. If these things are used, those are going to wear down over time. Everyone knows it who smokes these. All right, give me a moment to loosen this, so that actually maybe I can do it here while I'm still filming, folks. I don't want it to all topple over. You just wait though. That's what's going to happen. It's all going to fall over on me. Okay, got that off. Lift. All right, not too terrible. I'll put that back on in a moment. Let's keep going into it. Here's another, quite dense, quite heavy. To me, it looks like a P. My guess is this is a Peterson pipe. I think that's the symbol, or one of the symbols that they use is that P. What do we have here? Yes, Peterson something, Capru, something like that. Can I get zoomed in here? What does that say? 505. I'm going to have to look real close at this. But it is a Peterson. Peterson is a fairly well-known, well-respected, and highly sold pipe. I have no idea the age, but I'm sure that you can see how the mouthpiece on that is quite distinct and different. It is got like that little hole in it and kind of a different tip than these others that we saw. Man, very happy. What a great purchase. Oh, I love the shape of this bowl and the feel. The briar on that, folks, is really cool. It's definitely like more of a horizontal grain on this, just based on the way that they carved it. And look at that, how that splays out like that. I know it looks a little dark and dingy. It's hard to tell probably through the video, but guys, these are some really nice quality. I'm very impressed. Import something bright. It looks like it says Italy. I'm not even having to tell you what I'm doing to inspect this, and you're seeing it. I mean, this is sort of education just from watching me, but I'm doing it in real time, and hopefully this is a little bit different. Usually I'm doing a thing and telling you what I'm doing. In this case, I'm just doing it, and you're seeing, look at the heavy char in that. No one ever cleaned that out. They just kept using it, and wow. These, if I really wanted to polish these up, they would shine. I mean, I'm so happy, guys. All right, $40 in, and I am very happy so far. Folks, I'm just as pleased with this bag. More of these kind of a shell of a car type things. You know, just, this is a different type of brand. This one and this one is, what is this called? Lone Star. That's a Ford, the Roadmaster Flyers, supercars. The Ford Zodiac Estate. And this one is the Ford Corsair. And it says Fire Chief on it. We got ambulances. We got little buses. This right here, what do we got here? Burger Paints is called the Londoner. This one right here, it says Boss Hogs, you know, from that old TV show. I don't know, is this the A-Team? I don't know what this is, but it just goes on and on. This one, it's 1971. It opens up on the side. It's in pristine condition. This one is a Snoopy car. This one's super cool. It's a paint spreader, and it literally has this little piece right here, this plastic piece, and if you look here in the middle, if I shut it, it shuts. You open it up. Can you see it? And then it shuts, opens, shuts, and down below it, right there is where it opens and shuts. It would be like it dumps concrete out on the bottom. I mean, it's super well thought out. Really awesome condition. Folks, $20 for all of these vintage Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars, and others. I cannot wait to start my serious research on these. Moving on, here is the next thing I got, and what I spend on this. $15. This is an old metal bank that is it's like metal. It's put together, soldered together. It's in the shape of, looks like a circus elephant. You see that? You can put it down in there. I don't exactly know how you open it. I guess you just twist it open. But for $15, I thought people like elephants. If people collect circus-related things, and these old metal, cast metal cars and toys and banks and things can definitely sell for some decent money. So I took a flyer on that, but I do think I can get $15 for that, no problem. Now this should be a fun one, folks. It's a bag. I gotta get all these goodies out of my way. Doggone it, still got the pipes there. Move these puppies. Gotta be careful, I don't want to damage any of them. This baggie said, what did it say here? It said, bag lot of vintage items. That's it, 20 bucks. And I thought, I see one thing in here I think I can get $20 for. Let me open her up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. So first off, you've got this little old school picture frame. And it's got this little metal piece out that would make it sit just like this, up and down, very fragile, honestly. It's got something that's kind of like a soft plastic on the outside of this, and then this foil type thing on the back. So I imagine you could put a picture in there. It's a very thin, probably brass type metal. Old school. Someone might be interested in that by itself. So I'll put that there. Here we have some broken, maybe not broken, at the very least they have just come apart and need to be put back together. But a pair of I guess they're kind of like scissors, but I don't know. I've seen these before, but I can't remember what they're made for and what they're supposed to do. But they go together like this. Rusty will see if he can put her back together, or maybe get peaches on it or something like that. But this might be one of those things that just gets thrown away, but it might be something that could be salvaged. Maybe somebody would put it on a bookshelf or something. There you go. It would be something like that. We'll see if I can get her back in there. It just maybe the soldering came apart or something. And then this item, and I do not know what it is. It looks to me to be some sort of antique, either like a gauge of something, or perhaps, you see that hole there? It's almost like maybe thread, needle or thread. Looks like something will go through that and you could cut it or something. But this is going to be one of those things that I might approach a Facebook group that deals in toys, that collects toys. Oh, there's something here. Oh, it says Ross patent, December 27th, 1881. So yes, indeed it is old, folks. I'm gonna have to put this on and just say, hey folks, what is this? And we'll go from there. So that's the kind of research I'll do first, is approach a bunch of people who collect vintage tools and see what they, oh, it slides. Look at this, it slides up and down, up and down. Very cool. Last couple of things here, folks, that I found was this pair of little scissors. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with bonsai, which is the art form of basically training a plant, can be trees or bushes or things, to kind of dwarf them so that they can grow and become large in their trunk, but remain in a small pot. And it's very, you know, it's well known. It's a respected art form. It comes from I think Japan and China and areas elsewhere in the world as well. But anyhow, I don't know what the brand is on this. You can see there's an arrow with like a cog. That's denoting whatever the manufacturer is. And these are definitely in kind of like a darker steel, but they've rusted a little bit. I'm gonna clean these up. They're still real sharp, but these will be great. If you look up pruning bonsai, B-O-N-S-A-I, pruning, all right, you're gonna find things like this. And depending on the manufacturer, they can sell for hundreds of dollars. I'm not kidding you. So I was taking a flyer that these might be sharp and I could repair them, and I will be able to. So I think those will be good. I'll probably get all my money off from that bag, just from that. And then this. I don't know for a fact, folks, if these are vintage or if they are newer. However, everything else in there was pretty old, so I'm going to assume that these are old as well. This comes off. It came to me like this, and I'm assuming those go together. If you look at the back of them, I don't see a manufacturer, but they're basically solid brass, all right? Really cool, very worn. And I'm assuming that these are some sort of maybe a buckle assembly or some sort of clasp for something that would go together like this. But they are really cool as a pair. I have to do some research to find out if I can see any others like this. But again, for it was $20. I figured I could get 20 off of that. Then you put these together. I actually got these together. They have a little spring inside of them, and they sit like this. So I think this has to do with something with sewing or something like that. But they're like this, kind of spring loads and bounces back. If you pull it too far, it kind of comes back. Really cool looking. And then this little thing, I was happy with that. All right, the last sort of oddity thing here, folks, before we get into the jewelry, is this. I mean, look, this is metal, all right? This is a custom job of metal. On this side, we have a mirror, $10 for this. It says kaleidoscope. On one end, you just have an open area, and at the end, you have this right here. Now, I don't know, folks, if this is a crude piece of glass that was just broken up and then forged in this. If this is like some sort of a semi-precious gemstone, like an amethyst or something. But if you look through and then you turn it, with the way that the light comes through that, and also this mirror, let's just see what it looks like if I put the camera through this. All right, here we go. Oops. Wow. That's really, really cool. Don't you think? $10 for that? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's well worth it. I have never seen one like it, and maybe never will again. All right, folks, here we are. That's the end. One more piece fell out here. Let's grab it. Now we're going to get into the jewelry. Instead of you having to watch me pull all of this stuff out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them out, cut the tags off, write them down on this piece of paper here, and write down what I paid for it. That way, when we go to look at what we think the value is, you'll understand. But before I do that, Look at this. This is an old, just like a pen, all right, with the letter maybe T or J or something like that here. But on the back, if you look very close, you see on the bottom there? If I zoom in, it says Sterling Lamdew, something like that. So this is made out of sterling silver. Not bad. I bought this beautiful little, it says etched jam jar with a sterling lid. So it's this beautiful little jar. I guess you could put jam in it, and there's a piece of tape I got to take off that they put on, but it's a beautiful etched design on this thing. And sure enough, this little lid that would have had a little spoon or something in here, maybe a sugar jar or something. If you turn it over and you look very closely on this side, it says sterling silver 25, and it has some marks at the top that represent the maker and roughly probably the time period and the location of where this was made, most likely in a certain area of England. All right, folks, all of my tags are over here. I have brought out every single piece of jewelry that I bought today. And you can see how, do you see how that's moving there? I bought this and they said it needs repair, but I don't think they realize that this thing needs to be wound. It's gorgeous, folks. It's a gold-plated vintage pocket watch from the early 1900s is my guess. Beautiful scroll work on it. Elgin, very popular, well-known brand. So that's awesome. Got some gold-filled spectacles here. A beautiful 14 karat gold bracelet, and we got another gold-filled watch, and then a 14 karat gold ring. Various rings here. We got a signet ring, we've got a class ring, we've got a service ring. Safe driver, colonial, no accidents for 4 years. It's got a gigantic diamond stone in it as well. And then other rings, ring. This is an old Masonic ring. Look at this. We got an old child's cuff, gold-filled bracelet. This one has an inscription inside. It says, Perfect Love, 14 karat. It was given from KB to KBM to LCM, and then it gives a date, 7/17/1971. And then this one here is also inscribed, and folks, I don't know what this means, but look at this, San Antonio, Texas. And at the top, it has Latin, Virtus Junxit Mors non separabit, 10 karat gold ring, and then it has script letters, initials, and then it has a date 10, 14, or 11 maybe, 54. And folks, I don't believe that this is 1954. I believe that this is 1854. And then we have some sort of symbol here. I don't know if it's supposed to go up and down like that, but is that it almost looks like it might be some sort of like an Arabic character or something. I do not know. I don't know. Does anybody know? First of all, do you know what this means in Latin? Second of all, San Antonio, Texas, like what does this have to do with it? I don't know, but it's pretty doggone cool. So what I've done here, folks, and you can see this sheet in my background, what I did is I looked up what the gold price per gram of different carat purities of gold is today, because they fluctuate daily, multiple times a day. 10 carats, $22.86 a gram. 12 is $27.41. 14K, $31.96. And 18 karat gold is $41.11 today. So what I did was I took these pieces of jewelry and I weighed them. Okay, and I have these in order. This right here, folks, is the most valuable thing we've got because Sure, it doesn't weigh a ton. It's 14 karat gold, but that is a full 1 whole carat diamond in that. It is both the engagement ring and the wedding band that have not been soldered together yet. I'm probably going to go get this appraised before I try to sell it, because based on just the weight of the gold, we're really only looking at about $118. Now, I paid $400 for this, but folks, I believe that that is a $2,000+ ring. But what I've done is I went through and I wrote down what I paid for each of these items. This is what my cost was per item. And then what I did was I weighed them. I put them on this scale here and I weighed how much it is in grams. This one's 3.7 grams, 7 grams, 24.76 grams, okay? And then what I'm going to do to figure out the price is I'm going to take the weight multiplied times the carat purity value today. So for example, right here we have 7 grams. Well, actually, that's not a good example. I'll get back to that in a moment. Let's take one of the, okay, so 14 karat. 3.19 grams. I take 3.19 times the 14 karat price, 31.96. So 31.96 times 3.19 G equals $101.95. That is the value of just the gold and scrap gold value weight. Now, that is not like the inherent value in it. It is not the cultural value. It is not you know, what a person would pay for a ring, but that's just the gold. This just gives me a base price for what I'm looking at in value of raw materials. And I've gone through this entire thing. There's a couple of these that are not perfect. For example, when you have things that are gold filled, they're not solid gold like this or like this bangle up here. I've found that generally speaking, people pay in dollar value roughly double what the gram is. So if you have 7 grams of, you know, 1/10 12 karat gold or 1/20 12 karat gold, whatever it ends up being, usually you're going to make about 40. So if you have 50 grams, they're going to pay you $100. If it's 100 grams, they're going to pay you about $200. That's generally what it is. And so that's a good estimate for me. But if I added all these up and I only, you can't really do that for the watch because, the pocket watch, because it's got a lot of working components in there. It's functional, it's old, it has brand value, collectors collect it. So it has more than a $25 value, but I just passed that over. But if I add this up, my cost in all this was $745. The scrap gold weight by itself is worth $1,423. I believe that almost every one of these, if not every one of these, is going to sell for more than the scrap gold weight. Some might sell right around that, but then there's going to be ones like this diamond ring, folks. They're going to sell for loads more, and that is why I get this. The other good thing about gold, folks, is these are all wearable pieces of jewelry. If a person wants to wear this, they can wear it. And a lot of times when the economy's not doing well, people will hedge and invest in gold and other raw materials that fluctuate in value, but generally hold value through time. And so there's always going to be buyers of these precious metals.
Well, that's it, folks. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you learned something. Get out there and find those deals. Sometimes you got to put in a little extra effort, but it's worth it.
Beep, boop, boop. Let's go make some money. Rusty hair